There's no reason why young girls should want a surgery that can instantly kill you with one wrong move just because they saw that their favorite Instagram influencer did. And I think one thing about BBL fashion is the fact that it's literally all sex appeal and no actual fashion. We're no longer able to distinguish between what is natural and what is not. And the girls that are natural are being bullied for people thinking that they're not natural. And the girls that are not natural are being praised for people thinking that they got their body in the gym when they didn't. And now that the trend is fading, I feel like people are either running to get their BBL removed or they're running to get it reduced. Hey guys, what is up? It's Cam. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the BBL and how the BBL era is over. And before we get into all of that, make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below your opinions on the BBL. You can also subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you never miss another one of my uploads. You can also subscribe to my second channel. And also, if you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter account, and my TikTok. Everything will be on the screen and linked below. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about the BBL, because the BBL has been a hot and trending topic for at least a year now, I feel like. And I think it's something that when it first arose, a lot of people were talking about it, not only because of the fact that it became very, very trendy very, very quickly, but also because of the fact that it is a very, very dangerous plastic surgery procedure. So for those of you guys that do not know, a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift, and it's very, very prominent in the kind of celebrity influencer hemisphere as far as body shapes go. And I feel like this is kind of a trend that started with Kim Kardashian. Now, I'm not saying that Kim Kardashian started it, but I really think that if anybody had to be a catalyst for the rise of the BBL, it would be her. Because a lot of people were shocked when she started coming out with this very, very large butt. And a lot of people were wondering, okay, well, is it implants? Is it this? Is it that? And then lo and behold, we come to find out that it is a BBL. And I think once people started to realize that you can get butt enhancements without having to get implants and doing things like that, I think that's where a lot of the appeal came from. And not to mention that the BBL is something that's actually stripped from Black culture because of the natural body shapes that some Black women tend to have. And I'm not saying that all Black women have this kind of body shape, but it is a body shape that is very prevalent within the Black community and within Black women. And I think it became popular because of Kim Kardashian's want to be closer to Black culture. And I mean, let's be real here. If we're going to talk about the BBL as far as being something that's appealing, the real truth behind the BBL is the fact that it is very, very appealing to the male gaze of specifically Black men. Because one prominent song lyric that I like to think of that kind of gets my head turning, gets my gears reeling about kind of why this thing has become so popular is when I was growing up, there was this song by Lil Wayne where it basically, I think it started off saying, I like 'em long hair, thick red bone. Like,
I like a long hair, thick red bone.
That's it right there. And I think this is an era where most people in the Black community were glorifying and glamorizing that slim, thick body type. And I think from that started to morph and transform into the BBL body type and into the BBL epidemic. Because like I was saying before, having a BBL or kind of coming into the knowledge about BBLs was a game changer for those people that were either initially getting butt implants or were wearing like butt pads in order to fill out that area without having to have surgery, but just in general, and able to get an enhancement that looks like it could be more natural because you don't have synthetics of an implant or synthetics of something that is not real. And I also feel like the BBL and like the BBL era, the BBL epidemic, and the increasing want for a lot of women to have BBLs is a part of the gentrification of Black culture. Like actually a heavy part of it. And I'm not even just saying that because I want to be self-righteous, but like if you think about it, because of the fact that a lot of people have flocked towards this in an era where Blackness has become so popular, it definitely gives you something to think about. Girl, so let's talk about the BBL going from a peak to a plateau. Like I mentioned before, the BBL became very, very, very popular around the spring, summertime of 2021, and we're literally gearing back up around that time. And I think not only because a lot of people want to have their bodies right for the summertime, a lot of people want to have their bodies looking right for when it becomes hot outside and you're wearing more revealing clothing, but I think a lot of it is because when we're in an era of like idolizing Instagram baddies, influencers, and celebrities that have this certain type of shape, a lot of times you feel less than, or you feel like you're not good enough if you don't have that certain type of shape. A lot of these girls, not like maybe they are doing it for themselves, but a lot of them I feel like are seeking outside validation. They want somebody to tell them that they're is fat. They want somebody to tell them that is poking out in the back. They want somebody to notice them, and I think it's pushing a lot of them to get these surgeries because they're not only are they seeing other girls get them all over the internet, but they're seeing other girls getting them, and then they're comparing what other girls have to their own bodies and seeing that, oh, this doesn't really match up, but this is what's considered beautiful, and they're running to go get it so that they can keep up. And it's almost kind of like we're putting too much pressure on the internet in order to validate us or to give us self-worth or to help us lift our self-image. And it's kind of just like, what even is the point of all of this really if we're just going to be caught in an endless cycle, a dead loop of like comparing ourselves and then going and get this surgery and then the trend is over and then comparing ourselves again and then going to get this and get that. It's almost like you're wasting all of your time, your energy, and your money trying to keep up with everything that's going on, when at the end of the day, like, it's going to change in 2 months and 2 years. I know back on TikTok there was this whole thing about hip dips and girls realizing that they had hip dips, and apparently hip dips is something that you're supposed to be insecure about.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that I unlocked a new insecurity today. Apparently I have hip dips. Didn't know what that was yesterday, but that's okay.
But the solution, the end-all be-all solution, was always to get a BBL, or girls being insecure about not having a very voluptuous behind or having a flat butt or whatever the case may be. The end-all be-all cure-all for that situation were girls telling you that it was your sign to get a BBL. And I think it started to get very, very popular once a lot of people started to talk about the bad side, and all of the controversy surrounding BBL, I think, is what pushed it out to the forefront, because of course a lot of girls were getting it, and I think once people realized that it was something that was kind of sickening almost, because of the fact that you would see girls lined up in airports coming from getting their BBLs and being all in wheelchairs, being stuffed into cars on their stomach so they wouldn't have to sit on it. Like, it was kind of something that was it was a bit much, I'm not gonna lie.
So I got on my flight today, and everyone seated around me just had surgery. They didn't know each other. Remember, ladies, if you're getting a BBL, don't forget about the flight home. Pack something comfy for your knees.
And I think because of the fact that a lot of people were calling out the fact that it was a very dangerous surgery, calling out the fact that it was a very, very negative thing to push, especially when you're considering younger girls and things like that, when people started just calling out all of the bad sides to a BBL and not this sunshine and rainbows end-all be-all surgery that's going to fix you and give you the body that you want, I think that's the point at which it stagnated, because I don't think people were talking about it or even flaunting it as much. And so I think with the rise, like the peak of the BBL epidemic and then its plateau and then it's falling off, kind of had a lot to do with all of the things that I mentioned before. But also, when you think about it, as we transition from a time where it's super hot outside and you're not wearing as much clothes to a time where it's colder outside and you're covering up more, who's even going to see that BBL at the end of the day? Also, not to mention the fact that a lot of people started to see it in a negative light once a bunch of commentary videos started coming out about it, once a lot of plastic surgeons started coming out about it, and basically it had all of this negative press that I think just a lot of people were not interested in getting it anymore. So let's talk about the fact that the BBL was a trend. The BBL era was obviously a trend. And you know, obviously trends are gonna do what trends are gonna do. They're gonna come up, they're gonna have a time where they're riding out this peak, and then eventually they're going to plateau and they're gonna fall off, which is exactly what the BBL era did. And now that the trend is fading, I feel like people are either running to get their BBL removed, or they're running to get it reduced, or even on the other extreme end of the side, more people are opting to get more natural looking BBLs, not the very, very exaggerated ant shape that a lot of women were getting back in the summer of 2021 and the spring of 2021. Because I think a perfect example of this is actually Kim Kardashian. I'm not sure if you guys have seen her over the last few months, but you can notice if you look at pictures of her and if you just kind of look at her butt, I know it's a little bit provocative, and you know, I don't think necessarily we should be micromanaging women's bodies. However, I do want to bring this up for the fact of the trend and just noticing how the trend has progressed and how the trend has peaked, plateaued, and then fallen off. But if you notice with Kim Kardashian, you will notice that over the last few months, her butt has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you put that into connection with the fact that she's going through her divorce with Kanye West, you will notice that this is probably one of the most blatant displays of taking your blackness, taking the costume of blackness that a lot of non-black people like to wear, and then putting it back on the shelf when it's no longer convenient for you.
When I said BBL era is over and Kim removed hers.
Here's 3 possible underpinnings of the BBL reductions. Actually, it's kind of too soon to really say for sure, but here's some theories. Kim will always set the tone for the rest of the family. Her divorce from Kanye is going to incite some kind of shift from the way the family aligns with Black culture. I think it's too soon to say how. We'll see. So let's keep an eye on it. 2, Kim and Khloe are getting older. Have we seen a reduction in Kylie's butt? I know we kind of physically can't right now since she's pregnant, but again, let's keep an eye on it. I feel weird saying that, to be honest, but the Kardashians do normalize a fascination with their bodies. And I think we've never seen a Kardashian age before. They're going to renegotiate how they present their bodies to the public, how they use their bodies to trigger and titillate us, how they style their bodies, how they sculpt their bodies. Stay tuned for part 2.
And so my question to a lot of this is, where does this leave the girlies that have these BBL type of body shapes naturally? Because I've seen a lot of women being shamed. I've seen a lot of girls being shamed for getting a BBL or having a BBL. No, they're shaped like this naturally. And the fact that we only associate this one specific body shape, especially like that curvy body shape that is most commonly associated with the BBL because of how popular it became, we're no longer able to distinguish between what is natural and what is not. And the girls that are natural are being bullied for people thinking that they're not natural, and the girls that are not natural are being praised for people thinking that they got their body in the gym when they didn't. And I also think it's important to talk about how Black women are probably going to be the most affected by the plateau and the ending of the BBL era, because we're the ones who are stuck with this body shape that we tend to have naturally, whereas a lot of people were putting on the shape and we're getting the shape surgically enhanced in order to fit some type of trend, in order to fit some type of stereotype, and in order to be a little bit closer to Black culture and have a little bit more proximity to Black culture. Girl, okay. Let's talk about BBL fashion, because I feel like this is something that was very, very popular. It has been very, very popular, and I think when the peak of the BBL era, like when the BBL era came to its peak, BBL fashion was right there with it. I'm talking about Fashion Nova. I'm talking about Pretty Little Thing. I'm even talking about Shein. I'm talking about Nasty Gal. I'm talking about all of the brands that were pushing this kind of fashion trend of having this BBL body, knowing good and well that most average shaped girls and most average girls are not going to have this shape, and they're going to buy these clothes and it's going to look like a sackcloth on them, or a tablecloth, any type of cloth, a big old blanket. It's not going to look cute. It's not going to give what it's supposed to give, like how they saw it in the photo.
So I think this is a fair assessment of a BBL booby supreme. I mean, like, I don't really see anybody without fake tits wearing something like this. I mean, must I say more? Bro, does she even have, where are her nipples? Bro, the beauty standards for women is really getting out of hand. Like, we can't even have nipples no more. See, like, this is shit I'm talking about. BBL merch. This is only someone with a BBL and fake titties could pull this kind of look off. I mean, like, I guess a regular person could wear it, but like, this is made for someone who has their body done. Truly, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, is this even a dress? Where are you wearing this? I just want to know. I mean, all the models have the same body type, so it's like, how is a normal person supposed to look at this and be like, yeah, these clothes are made for me. I think I'd look really good in these. I feel very included. Like, this is a very specific demographic.
And I think a lot of these companies knew that, but in order to be able to push this one body type, you have to push the fashion that fits the body type in order to get people to think that if they buy the fashion that fits this body type, that they will be able to get this body type by association without they're having to get surgically enhanced or work out for it in the gym. And let me just backtrack a little bit and kind of explain what BBL fashion is. It's basically clothes that will accentuate an over dramatic shape in an attempt to make it seem like you have a BBL or you have a more curvy shape than you actually do. And it's a shape that most people just simply don't have. And I think one thing about BBL fashion is the fact that it's literally all sex appeal and no actual fashion. It's just seemed as if it is fashionable because a lot of the people on the internet at the time were partaking in this particular fashion trend, wearing a lot of clothes with cutouts, wearing a lot of clothes that accentuated, that were tight fitting, and that just looked ridiculous if you were to actually put them on a regular person, but somehow they were selling. It's because a lot of women, a lot of girls were seeking after and trying to achieve this body type that was simply unachievable unless you were to get the surgery for it.
You guys know what genre of music sucks? Swag rock.
This is a work of art. This is bullshit. This is a work of art. This is bullshit. This is a work of art. But this is bullshit.
And I think, kind of going back to what I was saying before, it takes away from the girls that actually have a natural BBL shape who don't want to wear overly sexualized clothes. Like, what if these girls just want to wear regular clothes and the only clothes on the market for them to wear is the clothes from BBL Fashion? Because at that point, they can't find things to fit their bodies unless it's things that's going to make them look overly accentuated, overly dramatic, and overly sexualized. And when things are trends and when fashion trends circle around and cycle through, of course, a lot of major brands are going to pick up on it and only start selling one type of clothes. So when it comes to girls that have this shit naturally but still want to dress like a regular person, they have no clothes to find in sight anywhere. All right, so let's talk about the effect that this has on younger girls. Not only the effect of the BBL era on younger girls, but the effect that the end of the BBL era has also on younger girls, because I think that young girls are very impressionable. I will say that much. I feel like even for me as a young girl, I was very impressionable. And you know, you just consider trends to be like the end all be all. You want this, you want that, because that's the thing that's hot and popping at the moment. But sometimes these trends are just not giving what they're supposed to give, and that's just simply what it is. But in the case of the BBL, I feel like it was all over a lot of people's timelines, a lot of people's For You pages, a lot of people's recommended, a lot of vlogs and videos coming out about how girls got their BBL, where they went to go, the information, all of this. And then at the end, you know, telling people to do their own research. Some people getting screwed up BBLs, some people admitting to getting screwed up BBLs, and all of this stuff. But one thing that I will say about that is the fact that you control what you consume. We have algorithms for a reason. We have For You pages for a reason. We have like buttons for a reason. We have all these interacting features, follow buttons. We have all that stuff for a reason. And that's because you're basically telling the algorithm what you like and what you don't like, what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So if you're constantly looking at BBL content, constantly looking at people that have BBLs, that talk about their BBLs, that are encouraging you to get a BBL when you're like 14 years old, that's all that's going to pop up on your page. And the more that starts to pop up on your page, the more you start to believe that you too need a BBL when you most likely don't, especially if you're like 13 years old. Because I think that young girls are very impressionable / can be very impressionable, and they can have a lot of insecurities, especially because of the fact that they are growing and maturing and their body is changing and their brains are changing and all this different type of stuff. I think it's very important to talk about the fact that influencers and celebrities, whether they realize it or not, whether they want to or not, have a responsibility to have a good influence over their actual community and follower base. Because I feel like there's no reason why young girls should want a surgery that can instantly kill you with one wrong move just because they saw that their favorite Instagram influencer did it, or because their favorite celebrity did it, or because their favorite person on TikTok encouraged them to go do it by saying that this is your sign to get a BBL. And I think just the culture of nitpicking bodies in general is a driving factor in why a lot of people want to get BBLs in general. I think a lot of times women, especially girls, I mean women just in general, are nitpicked about their bodies. Something is always wrong to somebody, and then trends obviously affect that as well. So if we're going to be nitpicky about the size of the butt, the fact that you have hip dips, the size of the waist, and all of these things, of course, it's probably going to drive someone to want to enhance that in some way. And if they don't feel like they can get in a gym, then obviously they're going to try more desperate means and more crucial means in order to get that thing, which in a lot of these cases is the BBL or surgery of some kind. And if the BBL is what we are praising, like, how does this affect the next generation of girls that are currently growing up? What are they supposed to feel like about their bodies? What are they supposed to feel like about things that come to them genetically or don't come to them genetically? And how are they supposed to feel about the instant gratification of just going to get surgery versus doing it the healthy route and working for it in the gym? Because I think a lot of these things are questions that we should be asking ourselves, not only just ourselves, but to the people that we allow to influence over us. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff on the internet is not going to go away, and trends are just going to keep cycling through. I feel like at another point in time, the BBL is going to come back around. The very, very curvy bottom is going to come back around. And at that point, knowing what we know about it now, how are we going to deal with that? All right, you guys, so that is it for this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you, oh my gosh, that's my phone going off. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment this emoji. That way I will know you made it this far in the video, and I will love you forever. And also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you never miss another one of my videos. And also, you can follow me on my second channel. That's where I post all my natural hair, lifestyle, girl talk, vlogs, all of that type of content is over there on that channel. And if you want to keep looking outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all my social media. Yep, my Instagram, my TikTok, and my spam account. I literally say this in every single video, but I'm sure you guys are probably gonna get tired of it at some point, but I'm gonna keep saying it anyway. Sorry, my phone is going off. But yeah, and that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to be the light, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!